Hey guys. So, hopefully we'll have better luck this time and people will be able to comment on what I'm saying, but who knows, because Facebook is kind of being a jerk lately. So, there we go. All right. So, I have the laptop hooked up and I have the phone hooked up, so everything is cool. I think it's cool anyhow. And oops, I forgot to push the little button. There we go. All right. Yes, I know it's an odd time. Another odd time, and I am the queen of odd time lives because, well, that's my life. So, I'm going to give it a minute, let people get on. I will be doing this now. So hopefully I'll get some people. I know it's 6 o'clock. It's dinner time for a lot of people, but this is the only time I had tonight in order to be able to do this. So if you're here, say hi. And hopefully it'll work. And you'll be able to comment on what we're doing. So today, we did 2 parts of our shipwreck design, which was the first part was we did the wood grain all the way around the top. And we put in the line work. And then we did the water line. So we did the water with the alcohol inks. And if you haven't had a chance to see those, they are available for replay, so go ahead and turn that on and watch. And hopefully this is gonna go okay. I'm just gonna wait a sec because I don't see anybody on. Let me just check what's going on here. There we go. Okay, so if you can comment, that's awesome. You might not see your comments. Something really weird going on with Facebook today, and has been going on. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening, but actually I couldn't see anything on my phone, and then I logged in on my computer and I could see all the comments that people were seeing on my computer. So I don't know. Who the heck knows? It's Facebook, you know. They have a mind of their own. Definitely. I'm just gonna wait another couple of minutes and then I'm gonna start. So this is gonna be quick. This part's actually really fast. There's not, you know, like a whole lot of to it. You've already done all the hard work. You did the baking of your clay. Now we're going to paint it and then apply it to the epoxy tumbler. So, but I've already got some of it done for you, so we wouldn't be on for too long because I know it's dinner time and people want to have dinner with their families and stuff, or get ready to go out because it is Saturday night, which is so cool, I guess. Unless you're a dinosaur like me, I don't do anything. I'm trying to get to my live. Okay, so anyhow. All right, I see there's 4 people on. If you can hear me, that's awesome. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to worry about it. Facebook is just being a jerk. But yet it's still, you know, you guys can hear me, you can see me, you know what's going on. You can always drop comments in when Facebook decides that it's going to fix things, then it will. And that's just the way that it is, unfortunately. It's Facebook. Because Facebook is jerks. So, okay, so one of the things that, you know, when you're painting, after a clay is completely dry, whether it's air dry clay or, hey, Alyssa. Okay, good. Somebody's here. I can see you. You're the only one here. Oh, there we go. People coming back in now. I don't know. It's wonked. Like, Facebook is just so strange. When you, so after your, now we're using Swift Epoxy on this, just because it's super quick, and I freaking love Swift Epoxy. Oh my God, like it is just, wow, game changer. Had I been using regular tumbler epoxy, I would not be able to be here right now doing this next part, because my cup would still be turning and it would probably be sticky at this point. So even though, you know, we did it at, I think we started at 12:30 and we finished up around 2:30. So it would still be sticky. With Swift Epoxy, it's dry. It's dry. Hi, Tarina. Thanks for joining, guys. So if you missed the first video, it is there. And the easy way to find it is if you go to the group, and then you can go to the event page and look under past events. It'll be there, or you can click on my name. Just click on my picture of me, and it will take you to my feed, which is really cool. So it's an easy way to find stuff. I'm also going to put this on my YouTube, which is nothing but tutorials that I've done here, just because Facebook is weird and it deletes videos, and I don't know why it deletes videos, but it does, and it's irritating. So rather than me doing the same tutorial 500 times, I just made a YouTube and put them up there, and you guys are free to look at those. Everything I've done, which is pretty cool. So, part 1, for those of you that are just joining now, part 1 happened earlier today. We did the wood grain panels. We also did the water line on the cup with our Swift Epoxy alcohol inks. And so that is all set and dry and very awesome. Now, we've also created as well, we also created the tentacles for your octopus legs and, you know, coming up around the cup. I showed you how to do that. The baking, it takes longer. It takes 20 minutes. It takes, okay, so when you're going to bake, sculpt the original clay. I'm going to go over this a billion times with you guys, because please don't look at the box directions, because you will burn your clay on your tumbler. You're going to take your clay, you're going to put it on your tumbler to get your shape. You're going to then put that on a piece of parchment paper on a cookie sheet and put it into your cold oven. And then you're going to turn your oven on 220 degrees, and you're going to let it come up to temperature slowly. Don't be opening and closing the door. Like there's nothing changing in there, because whatever's in there is in there, and it's going to be fine if you do it this way. Let it come up to temperature. Usually most ovens will set off a little timer, a little beep or something like that, that lets you know that the preheating is all done and your oven is at temperature. Then set your timer for 20 minutes. At the end of the 20 minutes, shut the oven off. Don't open Do not open the oven. Think of it like a cheesecake or a souffle, and it's going to sink. You don't want to do that. You want to keep your oven closed and then let it cool down at least 4 hours before you open the door. And when you do open the door, you do want to open it slowly, just in case there's any excess of heat in there. Now, the reason that you're doing it is because what it does is it creates what's called the kiln effect. You're taking something that's cold, you're bringing it slowly up to a temperature so that it's maintained, and then as it cools down, it's cooling down at a very slow rate so that it doesn't shock your clay and crack your clay. Cracked clay is a pain in the butt. It makes you want to cry because you spent all this time doing it. So save yourself a lot of aggravation. Just do it that way. Trust me. Do not follow the box instructions. The box instructions are going to tell you to put it into the oven at a higher temperature and cook it for longer. The reason that it's telling you that is because they're not anticipating you having it on a cup. And you're only putting it on a stainless steel tumbler. You never, ever, ever bake epoxy. Anything that's been epoxied in your oven is Safety 101, and I am a huge fan of Safety 101. Okay, so now that all that is over and done with, and we got through that. If you guys have questions as we go along, you just go ahead and ask me. You know, it's fine. I'm happy. That's why I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. If you missed part 1, it is there. So you could just, after this, you can just go over, watch part 1, and then come back to part 2. I'm going to upload these onto my tutorial YouTube, which is just tutorials, and then it will be available to you guys too. Okay, so that said, let's get going. Awesome. So I'm going to move you guys up here so that you're hanging over and you can see what's happening. So as I flip you all around, isn't this exciting? I hope you guys are all having a great day. And, you know, it's summertime. The kids are home. So this is the third part of the Shipwreck cup. Adriana. Sorry, Adriana. Okay. Zip. There you are. All right. Now, 1 second here. I just want to get my comments up. Yes, ma'am. 3D. You got it. You got it. Okay. So, our tentacles were baked, and now they're off the cup. Now, if you had baked them properly, they'll still be in one piece because you've got the ring that goes around the bottom. Me, I didn't think it through the first time I did it. And what I did was I thought I'd be able to just slide my X-Acto blade underneath my clay around the bottom and it would come off in one piece. Well, guess what? It broke. But that's okay. And you know what? A lot of times it's okay. So we have this vision in our head, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this thing this way and it's going to be such and such. And your art piece has its own mind and it's just going to be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm doing it my way. And we have to live with that. So rather than cry about it, rather than toss it in the trash, rather than try and start all over again, I am just going to, I'm just going to plow forward and make the best of a rotten situation. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to put a little bit of paint out. I love this paint, guys. This paint is amazing. This is Bar Arteza. It's my favorite, some of my favorite paints. The quality is fantastic. They last. You don't need a whole lot of paint. Actually, I probably have like way too much squeezed out, but it's kind of hard to squeeze out. I'm not a big fan of the little bottles, actually, just because they seem to, I don't know, they dry out quick, which is a pain in the butt. So I got those Artizzas and I wanted to try them. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so this is it. This is what we're doing. Isn't that awesome? Like, look at that. Now, at the end, I will repair all of this because this is where the clay, if you watch the first part of the tutorial, you'll see that I was saying that the bottom has to be, you need to have the thickness of your clay to be about 1/8 of an inch. If it's thinner than that, chances are it's going to shatter and it's going to break, which is exactly what it did here. But you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm going to be able to fix this. No problem. It's going to be perfectly fine. And that's okay. It's also great when you're doing these cups where, let's say you have a little mistake. Something happens and, you know, there's damage. Like right here where I it was up here. I grabbed my torch instead of my heat gun as my cup was spinning and my alcohol inks were going. And guess what I did? Yeah, I burnt my epoxy and I burnt it real good. So, no harm, no foul, because nobody's ever going to know. Okay, so I'm making my octopus a series of grays. So, the best way to do that is to just take a little bit of white paint, and then you're going to just take a little black and you're going to mix the black in, and you're just going to keep mixing. Arteza is really thick. You can just buy regular gray paint if you want, but I like shaded paint. So that means that I'm going to go from light to dark. You know, so there's going to be a lot more like black tone to it in some spots. Some spots going to have a lot more of the white to it. So it gives it like a textured look. And the only way to really achieve that is either you're going to go buy like, I don't know, 10 bottles of paint in different shades of gray, or you're going to take some black and some white and you're going to mix it together. And then for some sheen, I'm using the silver, which is right here. And this is really pretty. It actually looks a lot like this color here, only it doesn't have the iridescent quality to it. So that's where we're going. I don't worry about things breaking as long as all of the pieces stay. So had I lost a piece and I, you know, like literally lost a piece, I would have had to have started over on it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm mixing up. So this is my piece of my tentacle that we're working on. And again, everything's there on how to shape your clay, on how to put these little suckers on, and the first one. Okay, so we have that. You only need 2 brushes. You need a really skinny brush, and then you need like a regular kind of brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this black paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot inside each of these little spaces, and then I'm going to run a little tiny bit of gray against it, and then I'm going to run my thumb over it. Yeah, you're going to get messy, but you know what? You're an artist. That's okay. You're tough. You can take it, guys. Trust me. This is not a craft for the weak. You get messy. This is non-toxic paint, so it's perfectly safe to use your hands. I mean, you know, like if you really want to, you can use gloves. I don't. I never wear gloves if I don't have to. But I'll tell you, I was the kid that was in high school and in chemistry class that refused to wear gloves. Yeah, I was dissecting animals with no no gloves on, just because I like to feel. That's part of being an artist too, I think, is you like to feel what it is that you're doing. And so as an artist, I like to get my hands dirty, and I don't mind. I just won't do it with the epoxy. Once you get that on there, all you're basically doing is you're just kind of blending. You don't want to push down really hard because your clay is fragile. And just go ahead and rub it in. Some of these spots are going to be really dark, and we want that because it's a contrast. And once you get your epoxy on there, it's really going to look awesome. It's a little tedious because you do have to go through each one and put the little dot inside. It's really simple though. You take your clay and just base paint it. Whatever color you want your octopus to be, whether it's gray or, I don't know, blue. You want to do an Ursula, you can do that, you know, with the purples and everything. Whatever you want. You are the artist. Now, if you find that you get like a little gloppy kind of a thing, there's two ways to handle that. You stick your finger in the water a little bit and just kind of give it a rub, which is my preferred method. And I'll just run my finger over all of this, and it just smooths it and blends it. It makes its own little highlights too, which is really cool. I am checking the comments here in a second, guys, if you have any questions. Hey, Beth, how are you? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys got all the things that you needed to get done today. Like I said, don't worry about if your clay breaks. You're going to fix it. You're going to be able to fix it. I know so many people that freak out and then they just scrap the whole thing. And it's kind of like, why? All the work is there. You just need to fix it. So we'll show you how to fix it. And then you'll know, right? Sometimes we have to think outside the box as artists. I really do believe that. Working outside the box. You can't stay stuck. Now, because this line is really wide here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little black and I'm just going to kind of, it's very light. And then I'm going to do the finger trick again, and I'm just going to dip my finger in there and I'm just going to rub. That, what it does is it gives it a highlight. It'll highlight just a little tiny bit. Give it a little depth and a little bit of texture, because let's face it, nothing is solid, particularly octopuses. You know, seriously, I don't think I've ever really seen a real octopus. I have no idea. I've seen pictures of them, and I know some of them are gray, like really gray. Some of them have a blue tone to them. Some of them kind of have a like an orangey red tone to them. It's crazy. Nature is amazing, like the way that it does. But it all depends on the depth that it lives, and also the ocean that it's in. So the ocean, because remember, some of them go down really deep. And I don't know how it figures out what color it's supposed to be, but it's pretty dang cool if you ask me. All right, almost done. I leave the, when I put on the base paint, I'll generally leave like that little indentation without any paint in it. Just so that when I put the little drop of black in there, it really makes it stand out strongly. Don't rub your finger too hard. If you do, you can snap your clay, and then, you know, you're going to cry, because I've done that way too many times. Little water over the edge. If you're not happy with the way things look, just kind of bring it in. Rub it down. This is, like I said, it's messy. It's messy. You can't you can't not get messy as an artist. You're going to get messy. Face it. If you can't handle being messy, well, this might not be the thing for you. And that goes for anything when it comes to art. Oh my gosh. I've done things that, people are like, how do you get your hands in there? It's like, hey, they wash. Get your rag, get a little water, get a little alcohol. You're good. You're all good. Hey, Beth, I'm using that gorgeous cup you made. There's one. Dude, that guy. This cup is awesome. I put ice and water in this at 12:30, and I still have ice cubes. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue these suckers on. So now that it's all painted, this just goes in, this cleans up super easy too, this Arteza paint. Oh my gosh, so easy to clean up. And a little trick I learned, getting it off your hands rather than scrubbing your hands bloody raw, trying to get them off. If you have like an old pot scrubber, it actually works amazing for doing that, doing the, hang on one second. I'm trying to get my thing here. Oh, there we go. It works super awesome. So I have like an old green scrubby that I had for pots. And, what I did was I took it and I was like, well, I used too much of it in order to be able to, it's a very soft at this point. There was not a whole lot of scrub left to it, but it's enough to run your hands underneath some hot water, put a little soap on there, and then scrub off the paint. It works super good. I'm using E6000 glue in order to adhere my tentacles. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. I do recommend that you do not get this on your fingers, and it will dry up really fast. So if you are walking away or you're going to do something, I highly suggest that you get the lid back on it, put on nice and tight. I like these little ones only because I really don't use the stuff probably as much as I should, but I really don't use it a whole lot. And if I buy the big tube, what ends up happening is I end up having to throw the tube away, and they're expensive. I'm not kidding. That's like $6,000, like not cheap. So I love these little tiny ones. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put a little bit on here, and then we're gonna sort of spread it out with a popsicle stick. Try to be careful that you don't get it on the sides of your design like we over here. If you do, okay, it happens, and you can clean it off. Once it's dry, it's kind of a pain to clean off, but you can clean it off. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. I'm trying to, it's hard to see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now you can see me. And just put this on. Now this stuff dries really quick, or it starts to set up really quick. So you do need to work fairly fast with it. I just kind of smear it around, make sure that I have good coverage on here. I tend to put more down at the bottom, but you don't want to put on so much that it squishes outside. You really want to kind of be careful with how much of it you're using. Okay, then you just go ahead, line up where your piece is going to go. This one's broken, but now hopefully yours is going to come off in one piece, and you're just going to have to glue your tentacles and then slide it right up over the bottom of your cup. You don't want to move this around once you get it on your cup, because you do have your glue on here, and it will leave a residue. It does leave residue. You want to press firmly, but not so hard that you crack your clay. Remember, this is going to have your awesome epoxy over the top. And you got to use tumbler epoxy or Swift epoxy because it's just the best. And if you don't, then I can't vouch for the results. But if you do it this way, it's going to come out awesome. Believe me, it will be awesome. Okay, so now let me get my fancy schmancy, my very ever so fancy cup holder. Yeah, isn't that awesome? I got these pool noodle, and I was kind of like, well, that thing's humongous. And I was like, well, it's too big to go on a turner on the 3/4 rod. The hole is like way too big. I think this is like 1 inch. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with it? Because I can't throw anything away. And yeah. If you have questions, please. Hey, Sharon. Awesome. I'm so glad you made it over. Okay. I don't wipe it with alcohol. I wipe the whole thing down after I'm done. Before I start gluing, I will wipe this down. I only use 99% alcohol now. If I have to use 93, I will. But honestly, it's worth the money to get the better stuff because it dries almost instantly and you do not have to worry about it doing funny things. I have never, ever, ever had a problem with using the 99. So I love the stuff. It is great. 93 is excellent as well. Totally worth the money. You can get it. I actually scored huge and got a gallon on Amazon. But look around. You can't find the 99 at the pharmacy. The highest I think you can get is a 93. CVS, Walgreens, I can't think of the name of the other place there. That's in my area. I don't know what y'all have. Occasionally at Walmart, you can find it too. So, you know, check it out if you see it. It's totally worth the money. It's not that much more expensive either. One of these tubes of this E6000 does this, that does one cup of tentacles perfectly. Like, it's perfect. I don't have a whole lot of leftover. Actually, I'm not going to have any leftover this time. I might actually have to open a second container. We'll see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to spread this out real quick. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. It's hard to... I'm going to get a full setup for doing lives. I already got my ring light and all that cool stuff. Okay, now where this broke, I'm actually going to take, and I'm going to just lift this piece up. I'm going to try and lift this piece up so you all can see what I'm doing without snapping it further. I kind of jimmy my finger up underneath of there. We'll put a little glue here. Ah, see what I did? I just broke it. Dang it. Okay. That's all right. I'll show you how to fix that too. Okay. Get it all the way down to the end of the tentacle. And we're going to put this on. I'm going to line up our other side. It actually makes it easier, believe it or not. Again, I'm not going to worry about these cracks because I'm actually going to repair that. I'm going to fix it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix it with some glue after this is fully dry. So what's important is if your piece cracks, get your joints even. Get your joints to where they need to be before you press down any of this other stuff. And actually, yeah, I am going to have to open another thing glue. which kind of stinks. That's all right though. I have more of these to do. So the cup that we did today, in the earlier live, is awesome. Oh my gosh, came out so good. The tumbler epoxy actually, the Swift epoxy actually enhanced the colors so much. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Like the water is so beautiful. It really is. If you have a little weird, like gloppy pieces of your stuff, come here, just leave it alone until it dries. Once it dries, then you're going to be able to pick it off. You can pick it off as long as you're careful. Okay, where did that piece go? Crap. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Where'd it go? All right, make my life hard. That's okay. Trying to squeeze out the rest of this glue is not a good time. I need like one of those old toothpaste squeezer things. There we go. All right, that's the end of that little tube. Now, hopefully, like I said, hopefully yours isn't going to crack like mine did. But that was my own fault because I thought I was going to be able to pull it off. And I couldn't. You may have to hold your pieces in place for a couple seconds until the glue adheres. If, like I said, you don't want to shift this around a whole lot. You don't want your glue squishing out underneath. If it does, you're going to come in, you're going to clean it all off before you put your epoxy on. Now, at this point, you also want to leave this alone overnight. And the reason that you want to leave this alone overnight is because, first of all, I just painted most of this. So I want to make sure 110% that this is completely dry before I put any epoxy on this. I want this 100% dry, and this will be perfect by tomorrow. Before I do that, I will come in, I will clean up any little glue goops that came up again. You know, you can do that. One of my favorite tools is, I love these little silicone tools. Don't use the ball end. You want to use the silicone part. I get mine from Southern Sassy Sparkles. It's just this really nice little kit, and it has those in there, 5 different tools to use. And what I'll do is I'll come in with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and I will just rub it on there, try and pick off as much as I can and get as much as I can off. Once it's off, then we're good to epoxy. We're good to go. And it's like I said, but before, what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to, after this is fully dry, I'm going to come in and I'm going to patch it. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of just Mod Podge. I will come over here and I will fill this crack. You could use clay, but then you'd have to bake it again. So, or if you're using air dry clay, then that would work. I'm going to fill this hole. I'm going to kind of give it a little like sand down. Then I'm going to hit it with a little bit of paint. You'll never even see those cracks. And yet I have to find the piece that fell off here because I don't know where it went. I think it fell on a floor. And good luck to it if it fell on my floor, because my floor is a disaster. All right. So, Darn it. Okay. So guys, there it is. So we're going to find the piece here. And if I can't find the piece, you know what? No big deal. I'm just going to patch it. Oh, hey, look at that. It was stuck to my arm. How funny was that? Oh my gosh. Love it. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, you know? Like you just get the little pieces and you just kind of put them together, and yeah, it's awesome. The other thing that you need to be aware of when you make your design for your cup, and I forgot to mention this in part 1, so I'm mentioning it now. When you make your original design on your cup, you're going to notice that, well, there's no epoxy on there. One of the things I absolutely freaking love about Swift Epoxy is one coat over my alcohol inks, completely sealed it, smooth, like, you know, so beautiful, so smooth. So that's going to protect your inks. And then you can add your clay work, glue it all down, do any repair that needs to be done. But you will notice that even though there's only one layer on here, there is a little tiny bit of a difference. So when I put this guy together, there's just this little tiny, it's ever so slight. It's not even, I mean, gosh, maybe a 32nd second of an inch here of a space. So that does say that, you know, epoxy does take up space, and it is going to make a little bit. So what I would do is I would actually make sure that you do have like an opening or a little bit of a break when you put your band around the bottom. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. One of the other things, and I'm probably going to try this on my next cup, is I'm actually going to just take my tentacles and I'm going to bring them down to the bottom of the cup. And then I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to put the band around the bottom, because I was thinking, you know, kind of like the octopus is upside down in the water and it's got its tentacles coming up over the ship. The next time I think I'm just going to do just the tentacles. And I want to see how it looks. I'll just make them wider. I'm going to make them like wider so that they come down. I think that's going to look pretty rad. Let me see. Anybody saying anything? Wow, y'all are quiet tonight. And if you're not quiet, then there's something wrong with the Facebook thing. So I'm going to take you guys down. What did you make? Catching you live made. Oh, I want to see. Sharon, I want to see. I want to see it. Post it. Post your turtle mold. Definitely. Oh my God, that's awesome. Swift Epoxy is, like, as they say here, the shiznit. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like, for everything. I have never seen, ever seen a fast setting epoxy that you can do everything with. Like, most fast set epoxy, you'd never be able to do a mold with it. You certainly can't do a top coat with it. But you know what? Beth and Paul figured it out. They figured it out, how to make our lives way easier. I mean, you guys have the best of the best of the best here. No, I don't get paid for saying these things. I do it because I believe in the product and I love Beth and Paul so much. You guys, it's the best. That's all. You can do molds, you can do resin artwork. You know, I'm doing lampshades. I'm doing all kinds of crazy awesome stuff. Doing some lamps, actually some mold cast lamps. So I have these huge skulls. They're like huge. And then I'm casting them and I'm going to do lights up inside of them. I think they're going to be really awesome. So I'm doing that. And I'm doing it all with either Swift epoxy, tumbler epoxy. I'm going to do the real big ones with tumbler epoxy just because it allows for more time. Any project that, needs a lot of time. Sometimes when you're doing like resin geode work, things like that, where you're actually setting in stones and you need to get things just right, you want to make sure that you have the time that you need. Where with a fast setting, which is normal, it's a fast setting epoxy, it's supposed to work fast, so you're not going to have all that extra time in order to be able to do that. But oh geez, I knocked the thing. Sorry, I don't have my little case on because I can't put it in my stand, but sorry. I want to show you. Isn't it pretty? Oh my god, I love it. I love it so much. It's like so cool. I want to see you guys do this. Make it. Make one. Make yours amazing. Do whatever colors you want. I think whatever. I think doing an Ursula type one would be really cool. I actually want to do an Poor Unfortunate Souls one. I think that would be really awesome. I have a friend who's absolutely mad for Ursula. Absolutely. So, I hope this helped you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in and checking it out. If you have any questions, please message me and let me know. Don't forget to post your creations. Don't forget your new stuff, things that you've never done before. Make sure you post them on that post of mine. I'm doing the drawing tomorrow. Right after I do the last part where we're going to put the epoxy. We're going to put Swift epoxy on the first coat. And then after that, you guys can figure it out. I mean, I'm sure you don't need to see me put every single coat of epoxy on. This is 3D. So the idea is we're going to put the epoxy on. We're going to pay attention to how it's going to pool here. We're going to make sure that we wipe that all down and get it cleaned out. And but isn't that cool, guys? I'll do the repair and fix it. I might try and do like a little, like I'll try and record how I actually do a repair if you guys are interested. I mean, some of you may already know how to do that, and then you don't need me to do a tutorial on it. But if you don't know, don't ever be afraid to say, hey, Kiri, how do I do blah, blah? How do I do it? I don't care if 50,000 people ask me the same question. I don't care. I'm here to help you guys because it's what I do. I'm basically, at this point, retired. Don't want to be, but I am because of my back. And I know a lot of things about art, and I'm really happy to help you guys. So please, reach out if you need it. And I will be doing some more really, really cool tutorials coming up. So if there's something special that you want to see, that you want to learn about, message me and just say, hey, I want to know how to do blah, blah. And if I don't know, I'll try. And if I do know, I will definitely walk you through it. So have an amazing Saturday night. Eat well, have some fun, watch some TV. Bye-bye now. Happy crafting.